And we are good to go.
Welcome everybody to the third episode of the Roundhouse. There's only 3 commentators today, but we are starting our Pennsylvania high school track conversation. So today's night is going to be 4 rounds of buy or sell, 3 of take your pick, and 1 final 2 section. So let's introduce the commentators. Jarrett, we'll start with you.
Hi everybody. I'm Jared Felix, and I've been told I have a face for radio.
Ooh. Evan.
What's up? Evan Hatton, coming from not Pennsylvania right now, and I really should be studying, but I'm not, so.
And to Paul.
What's up? It's Paul Hayes coming to you from in the middle of nowhere, Virginia, and I'm hoping I don't lag out of this because I can't really hear too much.
Well, hopefully it'll work well then. So to start, we're going to start buy or sell. Camp Hill 4x8. They just ran 8:06 at Northern. That's PA number 1 for AA. Buy or sell Camp Hill as the AA state champions, and whether they'll medal in AAA if they could run there. Evan, to you.
I'm going to buy on them. They're really good. A lot of talent on that team. Leslie and Benny, fantastic duo. I would say barring any disaster, yeah, definitely, I think they can win. I don't know if they'll medal in AAA, but I think that they're really, really good, and I think they'll show up when it matters.
Paul.
I'm in about the same boat as Evan. Yeah, they're definitely a medal contender in AA, especially the top 3, and probably even gold. They're very, very strong, but AAA is kind of a different ballgame with 4x8, so I doubt they can get a medal there.
Got it. Jarrett.
Well, I think it's interesting. I mean, Camp Hill obviously off to a great start. They have experience as a team that won single A cross-country states. I think, there are classifications for a reason. It's going to be tougher for the smaller schools, especially one that's a single A school during cross, to kind of assemble all the pieces for kind of a team that, would compete with some of these AAA schools that have 4 or 5 guys who can run under 2 minutes. But I also think we can't necessarily count out the defending state champions from while missing. I think that's a really good team in the same district, so we'll hopefully get to see them matched up against each other, a couple times before states, which would make for hopefully a really exciting race between them and some of the other teams out west.
Yeah, definitely true. Thankfully, District 3 gets at least 2 automatic qualifiers, so regardless of how that district race goes, hopefully we'll see one of those 2 teams there at least. To buy or sell number 2, a lot of AAA competitors this year have been going out of state to race early this season. Buy or sell, whether that's a good plan for peaking at the state meet. We'll go to Paul, since the Downingtown boys are doing that a lot.
I'm actually going to buy. I think that with the way that our conference district and state system kind of works, you're going to get a lot of PA coming in, big invitationals, and then, championship meets right before states. So getting out to something a little different beforehand is fine. Probably actually beneficial because you will race. It's easier to race differently when people can always catch you off guard at states. So that makes sense. Definitely buying.
Evan.
I'm going to sell on racing out of state. I think it's a little bit different at the high school level than it is when you're a little bit older. You can travel a little bit more. I think when you're in high school, I think it's pretty good to learn kind of who you're running against, learn their strengths and weaknesses as the season goes on so that you can really work with that for when you get to the races that really matter.
Yep, definitely. Jarrett, What's your opinions on this? Buy or sell?
I'm gonna sell also on this. I think that there's a ton of great competition within the state of Pennsylvania itself. I don't know if you necessarily need to go outside to find all the best competition. I mean, a lot of the fastest times in the state have come from in-state meets. I also think that Evan made a great point about kind of being able to know your competition. I think back to the 2010 cross-country season, Wade Endress went to District 1 to race Chris Campbell in home turf. He went to Carlisle to race a lot of the best guys there, and he went out to Coopersford Tri-States to race the North Hills guys there. He lost to all of them the first time he faced them, and then the second time around at States, he beat Hebda, Cush, Selenkis, and Campbell. So I think it can really pay big dividends if you know what you're up against, and that's why I would kind of like to see these guys getting shots at each other in PA soil.
Got it. So sticking somewhat on the Downingtown West side, Jackson Hoey, the defending state champ in the mile, just ran 4:21.76 at the Bullis Invitational in Maryland. That mark puts him at number 8 in the state, number 4 in AAA, and number 3 on Downingtown West. Buy or sell Jackson at each of those divisions? Let's start with Jarrett this time.
Yeah, I'm going to buy. I know that obviously he's got a lot of competition from his own school and his own family right now, but he did win the last 2 state championships for the mile/1600 when we look at last year outdoors and this year indoors. He's still run the fastest out of any of these guys based on his indoor time. Nobody else within AAA has run the equivalent of 4:10, 4:09 for 1600 like he has. He's got good experience, he's got good speed, and even during cross country he was second at States the last time out. So I think it's tough to pick against him right now. There's definitely a ton of competition, which makes for a really exciting race, but I think given his resume, it's still pretty darn strong.
Very true. Evan, what's your take on this?
I'm gonna say I think Josh is really on par with him. He's been really improving well. He surprised me in indoor, but I think Jackson shows up when it matters. Like championship races, he ran really well at Milrose. I think Josh, he and Josh are probably on about the same level right now, but I don't know if Josh is going to capitalize in those big time races like Jackson does and consistently does throughout his career.
That's very true. Paul, you know them very well. What do you think about this one?
I'm going to say as of right now, I'm still going to buy, but I think Jared alluded to this last year. I'm going to keep the receipt actually. Because as of right now, no one's even really close to Jackson coming in at a 4:10, maybe even 4:09 in shape, and he's put up even more to the 800, which suggests he could go faster. So as of right now, no one's got him, but as soon as championship season starts rolling, I can see some other people start to step up and get closer to him and give him some trouble.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything on that one?
Going off of what Paul said about no one really being on his level, I would make a case for Mike Kohler from Seneca Valley. I know I'm going to kind of let my Whippeal bias show a little bit here, but he has a 4:10.9 converted from a full mile, ran 1:53.1 in indoor. Obviously, he only raced the 8 at indoor, but definitely think they're going to have some nice races against each other come the end of spring. So
very true. I think it'll be interesting to see if how many times Kohler and the Hoey's face off pre-states, if at all, and then even if they get to post-states, because I think that'd be wonderful to see at nationals or even back at Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, we're going to move on to our final buy or sell. The ship invite is this weekend, and that means it's one of the only times that Pennsylvania sees the steeple. It is over 2K, but to bring back Garrett's category from the first Roundhouse, how much do you care about steeple results this weekend? Over to Paul.
I don't care. There's really not much to look into. I know that sounds kind of mean. Like, there's people out there running steeple, like, that's great. You're also probably going to get awesome Facebook pictures, but, I mean, I'm not going to make too much of it. It's definitely fun to try. If you want to do it, go out and do it, but it doesn't mean too much in high school, and the PA scene this week's not very
Over to Jarrett.
Yeah, I mean, I personally am excited to see it. I guess I would buy being interested in it. I think that we need more kind of races like this out there. You know, the steeplechase is an event that's contested at the NCAA championships. It's contested at the World and Olympic championships. It's a really cool event also. It's one of the more exciting events, and I understand logistically maybe you can't have it everywhere. You can't have it in dual meets because not every track is going to have a steeple, but I think, you know, for PA kids to get a little experience running over barriers before just going into college, you see with these New York kids who do the steeplechase, you know, they kind of have a leg up on us when it gets out to college, and obviously I'm in favor of PA doing what PA does and being one of the better states, so I'd love to see us kind of get more of these meets going on. I'll be interested to see what happens, but admittedly it doesn't have any real effect long-term on the state meet, which is the most important.
Sorry, Evan, you there?
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
Cool.
All right. Steeplechase. You guys know my history with the steeplechase.
Why don't you talk about it for a second?
All right.
Let everybody know about.
All right. So, Club Nationals, my freshman year of high school, or my freshman year of college, I went and I had done one steeplechase, and I was like kind of excited for nationals because I thought I was like, oh, I gotta get top 5. Like, this could be pretty sweet. Like, I'd been sick for like 10 days leading up to it. Like, third lap, I'm running pretty well, and go over the water pit and just like catch my feet on the end and stumble for like 30 feet before like somersaulting out of it. Just an awful experience, and I was bleeding for the rest of the race, but it was good fun. Whatever. In terms of high school, the video of that is on my Instagram, by the way, if anyone wants to see that. It's also on YouTube somewhere, so we can link that with this. All right. In terms of high school steeplechase, it doesn't matter to me at all. It's going to show some good things about strength, but other than that, I don't see any benefit from it moving forward in the state. Alex Coburn from Cumberland Valley is the only person I can think of in recent memory who has like been good at it and been good elsewhere. Like I know Kevin Lepsansky from Easton did it last year and got third and got beat by a guy who ran like 10:40 in the 2 mile. So I'm not going to put a lot of stock in the steeplechase. Just my take on that.
Right, that's why we're all here. We all got different opinions on that one. So that spells the end of buy or sell, and we are now going to move on to take your pick. We have a pretty good representation of different districts by our commentators today. These 3 runners all represent their districts really well in cross country, pretty much dominating them. Which one shows up at states? Nick Wolk, Jake Brophy, or Nate Henderson? We'll start over in District 1 with Jarrett.
Yeah, so I would say I mean, I wish I could take all of them. I think all of them are doing really good running. I guess I'm going to go kind of in a surprise angle here. I'm going to take Nate Henderson. Um, and honestly, what I think is that, Brophy had an interesting indoor season. The 3K, he almost got beat. He kind of had a wake-up call in the middle there. And outdoors, I think, he's mentioned that he really wants to focus on the 4x8 and go after doing something special with his relay. It's hard to do the 32 4x8 double. I'm still not 100% sure that he's going to try it. I mean, he might. 32's been his best event, but I'm still kind of up in the air about that, what that means for his mentality, what that means for his strategy. Henderson, meanwhile, just soloed a 414 for 1600. He ran 908 last year as a sophomore, which is the number 2 returner, was right next to Brophy. Last outdoors was right next to Brophy till about 200 to go this past indoors. So this is a guy who's trending upwards and had his best indoor season by far, and now he's headed in the right direction off that 414, beating a record that belonged to Vince McNally, who's a pretty big name.
Huge name. So we're going to stick in District 1. Paul, do you have a different opinion, or are you going to stick with Henderson?
Just to argue the other side, because I was thinking it anyway, I'm going to Brophy. Actually, he proved this year in indoors that he does actually wake up for track, and he can have a pretty lethal kick at all times. Whether he goes to the 4x8 or the 32, really just who's going to dominate the track scene. So even if it's, skipping the 32 to throw down, a 4x8 anchor leg, or, maybe going for a 4x8 16 double and snag silver or bronze medal in there, I think he still, dominates, especially during the big meets in season, and then, dominates however he wants to, and whether or not that's with his team or with just, his individual, he's still going to dominate.
Yeah. The CBE's team has done well in all the relays that they've chosen, so it'll be interesting to see whether he goes team or individual. Over in District 7, Evan, are you going to round out the trio?
I think I am. I think Brophy and Henderson have both kind of proven that obviously they're going to be forces to be reckoned with. Wolk is kind of the new kid on the block when it comes to winning big races, but I think he's going to continue that success into outdoor. He just opened his season with like a 9:13, which is ridiculous. And like he's one of the fastest returners in the Whippeal and the mile. And from what I've heard, he ran that time already in a dual meet. So I think Wolk's gonna have a really good year. I think he's gonna kind of get his name out there even more, prove himself on a big stage.
Awesome. So for our next take your pick round, we have the PIAA state meet records. Last year it was the AAA 800 and the 32 by John Lewis and Zach Brem respectively. This year, if you could only pick one record, which one falls and by who? Let's head to Evan. You ended the last one, so let's start you off.
All right. It's the oldest record out there. I think the AA 800 is going down by Dom Peretta. Such a beast. Opened his season with a 50.1, 159, 428 triple, which is unreal. And then this past weekend just went 152 and 415 on the double. That's nuts. Coupled with his 150 indoor, I absolutely think he can take that record down. I don't think he quite has 403 wheels yet, but I think the 151 goes down for sure.
Is it going down on the double? Prediction?
Yeah, I think it will. He's proven that he's really good when he runs more than one race at a meet. I absolutely think it will.
Great. Paul, what's your take on this one?
Well, Evan stole my first answer, so I'm going to go with the AA 3200. I think Hawk will be able to solo sub 904. If he's doing all the 32 at States, he's probably going to push for sub 9 the whole way, and he knows how to grind out a race. He proved that this season in indoor, pushing all the way to what was almost, but it's still being a very silver, and getting the third place in the 5K Nationals. He knows how to hammer it out when he wants to, and I think he's going after the 3200 record this year and taking it.
Yeah, definitely. Jarrett, what is your take on this? Are going to be a AAA guy, or is it going to stay in AA?
Well, this is a really tricky one. I think that these two guys said the two most likely ones, but I will say that Hawk and Peretta, they've each won the last two state championships in these two events. They both have historically been way ahead of the field, and they both have historically not been all that close to the record. I do think they both have a great shot this year. I'm going to go in a completely different direction, which might surprise some people. I'm going to go with the AAA 4x8, which I know sounds a little ridiculous.
Ooh, what?
Just a tad ridiculous.
7:33, the time that CB South ran in 2009. It's one of the all-time greatest records in the state's history. It's one of the fastest races in the state's history. It was really cool to be there and to witness that. They had a 1:49 anchor leg, which I don't think any of these teams are going to get. But I think that if all the pieces come together, you have teams like State College, who's running really, really well. You have CB West, Abington. You have a really deep field. And all that needs to happen is they need to push these guys hard enough. We saw Pennsbury last year. They ran around 7:38. I think for the 4x8, maybe a little faster.
Sounds right.
Penridge was 7:40. They returned 3 guys from that team. State College was 7:41. They returned 3 guys from that team. The state's consistently very fast in this event. It's not always the team that you expect that ends up breaking these kind of records. We thought North Penn was going to be the team to break the record before CB South did it, and maybe it's going to be a surprise this year. We'll see what happens at Penn Relays, I guess.
Very true. I think that'll probably give us a lot to think about Penn Relays, which will be next episode of the Roundhouse. We just brought up both of the people in our final Take Your Pick. They both attempted some great mile 800 doubles on the indoor circuit. Evan, you brought up Mike Kolar, and Jarrett, you just alluded to Tucker Desco. If you can only pick one of these guys for outdoors, and I would love to have both of them on my team, which one would you guys be taking? Let's start with Paul.
I'm taking Mike Kolar. He's got a lot of experience. He snagged the silver last year at Outdoor States, and he's gone down towards the 411 range. So I'm taking him every time.
Short and simple. Evan.
Yep, brought him up before. I'm taking Kolar. Super gutsy, not afraid of any kind of race. His speed's getting a lot better. I think he's going to take some names in outdoor.
Yeah. Jarrett, are you sticking with the crew here?
No, I'm going to go in the other direction. I'm going to go with Tucker Desco. I honestly think he would have been better off running the 800 at indoor states as opposed to the mile. And I think that it's possible that he will change his mind for outdoors. And I think the 800 in the AAA category is kind of wide open. I think a lot of the best guys are maybe more milers. And I think that Desco can win that 800, and Kolar's going to have his hands full with whoever's in the mile. So in that respect, I'm going with Desco, who I think has a lot of upside in the 800 this outdoors.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what relays come into play for these guys too, who will be on tired legs. For Tucker, it might be his 5th race of the weekend, come at 800 final, which we'll see about that. Some people do amazing things on those doubles. We've seen it happen before for certain. So with that, we have gotten to the final two. Now to decide who our final two are going to be, we're going to steal a little segment from Stump the Schwab. If anybody watched that ESPN trivia show in their early childhood. So the way it works is there is a list, so there's a topic, and then a list of everyone who qualifies under that topic. We're going to go one by one. We're going to keep going one by one. When somebody misses, they're out. The top two will go to the final, and the winner will choose which position they go to. So this segment of Stump the Schwab is the 2015 District 4x8 champions. AA and AAA. We're going to start with Evan, go to Paul, and then we're going to handicap Jarrett in third position. So, Evan, who's your first one?
Is this from last year?
From last year, so last spring, 2015.
All right, and I'm starting in District 1.
You can start with any district.
Okay, any district.
You have to name a district champion.
A district champion. All right. I was literally there. Pensbury.
Pensbury did win District 1 in third play. Paul.
District 3 was State College.
It was not.
Ooh, dang.
Jarrett, can you give us one?
I believe that District 6 was State College.
It also was not.
Ooh.
So Evan wins this. We're going to go back to Paul and Jarrett to see who gets the second position. Paul, next guess.
District 7. Fuck, I don't know. Crap. I can see Jared, you win. I need to take a break from this. I'm surprised.
Jarrett, it looks like you've just been given a second. Do you want to finish it off?
So was District 6 Altoona then? Because
District 6 was Altoona.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, who would have guessed that one?
I should have just said Norwin.
Norwin did win District 7.
Oh, it was Norwin. I forgot about them.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So we'll have a complete rundown of the district champions in the comments section of the video later. So we're going to go to the final two. The choice is Best Non-Distance Performance of the Year. We're vloggers for all of track and field. Evan, do you want to go first or second?
You know, I'll give it to Jarrett. I think he needs this for his self-esteem.
Jarrett, what is the best non-distance performance of the year so far?
I'm going to go with Josh McElmore of Downingtown West. What I saw from him at indoor states and now what he's done so far outdoors, I mean, I don't know if I can group them all together, but indoor states was crazy. I mean, he won the 400, the 200, huge anchor leg on the 4x2, huge part of the 4x4 team. It was just an unbelievable quadruple, and now he goes outdoors and runs 53 in the 400 hurdles and has a huge 4x4 anchor leg again. I mean, it's hard not to kind of get excited about what this guy's doing in the sprints. And coming from last year where he wasn't really a big name at all to kind of coming out of and now suddenly being the guy in sprinting like that everyone's chasing.
Very true. Evan, can you beat it?
Maybe. If I knew what the girl's name was, because it is escaping me at the moment, I would probably have a better chance. But the girl from Connellsville, I think, who is just destroying javelin right now and has been since she got into high school, Like she threw like 185 or something last year.
Madison Wiltrout.
Yes, her. She would have been like 4th in the guys javelin. That's ridiculous. And she just opened her season with pretty solid throw, which I don't have a number on in front of me. But obviously very good. Definitely gonna continue her success in just through the year. So yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah. Well, I think her throw this weekend was in the 146, 148 range.
Was it?
But Evan, because you didn't remember the name, Jarrett, you're the winner this week. 30 seconds to yourself. Take it away.
First of all, I want to apologize for missing the 4x8s. I'm not going to try to name more now. But I will say I'm going to use this 30 seconds to promote the blog, discussion night tomorrow night, pen relays, predictions, previews, all coming, and of course another edition of the Roundhouse, pen relays extravaganza. We're going to pull out all the stops. It's going to be a great time. I hope everyone joins.
Thank you, everybody, for the input tonight. That is really it for this episode of the Roundhouse. Tune in next week and be in there tomorrow for the blog. We're out.
Peace out.